how do we legally protect our books on Amazon KDP by understanding basic copyright? That's what I'm going to show you in this video. We're going to go through 3 steps. And I'm going to show you how I lost a book on Amazon, right? It got blocked after it made 36 grand, and how I went ahead and made 40 grand from the same content. Okay, so you can see these timelines that one shuts off, this one shut off, and then this one starts. Do you see this blank thing? The book didn't exist. So I want to talk to you about that so you understand basic copyright, because there is so much that you can do to protect your books. And if you remember, this will age me, right? Do you guys have cassette tapes? When Taylor Swift had her masters sold, right? And so she lost the royalties and control over that. But because she's a songwriter, she still, and maybe I'm using the word masters wrong, she had the rights to re-record, okay? That is a form of copyright and intellectual property that Taylor Swift had. So, favorite song from this? Now that we don't talk, oh man, I could listen to it on repeat. Okay, that isn't a really important part, okay? So that's what happened when I lost this book. Now, at the same time, I created the book again because I knew I had some type of originality for this book. It didn't exist on Amazon before, and I knew that I could make a difference in the Amazon customer life. Like, it was a good book, right? So we're going to cover the 3 basic things that you need to know about copyright. So if you ever run into this, you don't make the mistakes that I've made. And some of you have even mentioned, like, hey, you should fight 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞, right? I say his name backwards for my own protection. I'm not an attorney, because I had the copyright when this book got shut down, okay? But I didn't have the legality to litigate because I didn't have it registered, okay? So let's dive into the story, and so you understand the number 1 step to protecting your work on Amazon, okay? This is the basic. Your work under the United States Copyright Office is protected when you draw something, when you design something, when you take a picture, okay? And so that is the most important step. And I actually will add this to our freebie, the copyright portal below. Your original work is automatically protected by copyright upon creation. It's like AI, like automated, like robotic. That is so cool that, like, we have that power and that freedom in this country. And recently, Elon Musk and Sam Altman, I should say their names backwards too, Malone-esque and Statman, said we should get rid of intellectual property laws altogether. And that's kind of mind-blowing, but these are pro, like, AI guys, okay? But copyright has been alive for so long. 1923 is when the office released. People always correct me, okay? I don't know the dates, but I do know how to protect a book on Amazon, and I'm still learning more. And because I've had some painful crashes, I'm sharing it with you so you don't make the same mistakes, okay? So the protection grants you exclusive rights to reproduce, distribute, and correct deviated works. So when this book got blocked, Amazon said, you need to prove to us that you own the copyright. And I was like scrambling because I made it in Canva. And so I went to Canva and I was like, can I get the copyright to this? And, like, I love you, Canva, but it was not helpful, okay? It was not helpful. They didn't have as clear as terms of, like, oh, you actually have a license to commercially make money, but also you have the copyright release when you have a Canva Pro account, okay? They didn't say any of that. So I was like, what can I do? So I reached out to an attorney, my attorney, right? I've sent him the questions you guys have sent, and he was like, to litigate, you have to protect your work. This book had made me $36,000. Why was I not protecting it? And so I got with him and I hired him to register my work. I registered my work, and I'm not going to tell you the price because I don't know, but it was over $700. That is nothing compared to what I lost, but what I left on the line, right? Okay, so that's the first part, is that if someone's infringing on your stuff, you cannot litigate with them unless you protect your book. And that brings up a topic that I'm going to share in our next video about how I received an unlawful copyright strike on my account 8 days ago. I've already cried in the shower. I've already rose from the ashes. I'm like, my community, you guys need to know this so you can protect yourself. And because if we can learn as a community, we get better. Okay. And I don't ever want to scare you. I want you to know that you can have faith in every footstep, right? You can do hard things and we can do it together. Okay. So that means that you have exclusive right. And some of you last night were like, how do we know that Canva gives us copyright? How do we know that wasn't just an AI bot in the support? I went and had to email them. I was like, is this AI Derek and Daryl from support, Casey and Daryl? If not, can you reply? Do you want to come on the channel and tell us your favorite color? Because you guys know when I give out freebies, whenever you get an email from me, you got to reply to the email with your favorite color so the internet knows that you want to make money when you sleep. Okay. So we'll see if they reply. But last night I said, what happens if this happens to me again and I can't prove that I have the copyright from Canva? And they said, oh, sweet Jenny. I should have printed it out. They said, we will advocate and support you. They didn't use the word advocate. They said, we will assist you to make sure that that is resolved. So I was like, okay, Canva legal, Canva support. That's part of having a pro account, okay? That agreement. Now, I do not have a Canva free account because it creates too slow of a workflow for me. So I use Canva for book creation as a software because it allows me to go really fast, to resize stuff and to automate. And Canva Sheets is blowing my mind, okay? While automatic, registering your copyright provides additional legal benefits. So I already had that when my book got blocked, but I didn't know enough about the law. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, register your copyright. Okay, this is where you go on to the US copyright site and you create an account and you complete the appropriate application form. Okay, it's about $45 per registration fee. That's if you're not going to hire an attorney. Now, if you hire an attorney, you can go faster and they're going to make sure that you don't get rejected. My attorney says like 60 to 90% of the applications he submits gets passed because he knows what he's doing and he's helping people. So if you are taking a standalone teddy bear, we keep using that as an example, on Canva and you're trying to claim copyright over that and you didn't alter it and you didn't change it enough, then it's not going to pass the requirements, right? Okay, so you submit a copy of your manuscript, your artwork, anything that that you made, and you submit this electronically. And so the most important part of step 2 is that you can't litigate unless you have registration. That's the first part, okay? So some of you also were like, if Amazon did this to you, Jenny, like their department, their content review team is not a legal team. So it does get a little bit sticky, but like we have to play offense and we have to advocate for ourselves. It's almost like when you go to the doctor and you tell them all the symptoms and maybe they just give you something for the symptoms and not the root cause. Like anytime that we're taking control of our life, we have to take that extreme ownership of like, I'm in charge of me and I'm going to make it right. And that was a really painful lesson because I was being acted upon by these infringements. And I will tell you that when this book got blocked, I also had a coloring page from Creative Fabrica. With everything that you download on Creative Fabrica, they give you a commercial license and a copyright license. And so you can save those and put them in a file with your manuscript of your book. And then when Amazon says, we need you to prove you have the copyright of this, you go to that file and you grab the license. So when I did this process and went to Creative Fabrica, the license for this teddy bear holding a heart on Creative Fabrica, it was gone. The link was gone. And so one, I should have downloaded the license when I made the book. That was the first mistake. 2, because it was gone, it showed me that a third party, an artist contributing to Creative Fabrica, uploaded that content illegally and infringed on copyright in general. And my account took the hit. So there was multiple things that happened when I lost this $36,000 book. They did an audit, they found other stuff, and they terminated my account. During those 5 days, I had started hiring an attorney because one book had made that much. I knew I needed to invest in this legally, and I was able to get the account reinstated. Now, That was 2023. That was my 13th month on Amazon. And since then, people have asked, like, do you have a course on getting your account reinstated? And I've been thinking about that, and if it makes sense for something for us to do step by step. But I'm not an attorney, and so I'm sharing these videos instead, so you're very clear on what you need to do to protect your account. Okay, so number one is understanding automatic copyright because you created it. Number two is that you're going to register that copyright if you ever want to protect your book legally. Now, if you can't afford that $45 thing, I would keep telling you to publish and keep making money on Amazon. So when that time comes, it's very easy for you to actually protect your book. Okay. So the third basic thing about this is something that I'm giving you guys already. That is, add a copyright to your page. In the description below, I have that template that you can actually add that to. And just remember that if you have a line journal or something that's considered low content, you can't really protect that. Lines in notebooks have, they've been invented hundreds of years and we've been using them for a long time. So you can copyright a series. And someone did correct me previously. When I went to register my work, that was different than copyrighting it. So when I made those 150 covers, for those line journals in Canva, I had a pro account. I had the copyright on them. I took that copyright and I hired our attorney. He's ours now, right? And he went ahead and took that body of work and registered it, and it went through the registration process. Now, if anyone were to copy that cover on Amazon, then I could lawfully send them a cease and desist. Here's the tricky part, and we'll talk about this in the next video about the unlawful claim that I got, is that some people use this unlawfully and it gets tricky, okay? But I just want you to understand with the third step of the basic is that you can include a copyright just of your actual book. It was created by you, and you can put your pen name there. You don't have to do your full name, okay? So this also, you need to have this little @ sign or the little copyright sign, and I include that in the freebie, okay? There's a statement you need to include that says all rights reserved. I have that for you, okay? So if you are using any other types of work in there, you can include that. You can include the third-party artist. This is why 𝐬𝐻 actually wants you to give them some type of credit when you are doing that. And we need to have a whole different conversation about 𝐬𝐻 and owning copyright, okay? Your contact information or permission for inquiries. So if you want someone to license permission of your video or do something like that, then that is what you would want to do. Okay. So essentially what happened is that I had in the works copyright, okay, because I created it. I was able to republish the book, and this is as of today. This is May 9th as of this video. And that means that this book has made, I think 2023. So it makes about 10, 12 grand a year. That's real money, right? And so now I'm like, I need to talk to the attorney about, I had all of this work that was copyrighted and registered. And so there's a difference there, right? When you touch the work and you create it, it's copyrighted. The second part of that is actually registering it. Now there's a second part. When we upload to Amazon KDP, we agree to the terms and conditions. And part of that is the content guidelines. There are sections in there that say, we will remove your book if it's disappointing content or misleading. That is so subject to those 3 departments at Amazon. Amazon's Kindle review department has 3 teams. One's in California. The other 2 are in they're in other countries. I don't really want to get into that, but I would pay an Amazon KDP, an employee, a certain amount. I would want them on the channel. I would want to know these things, okay? So because there's so much that if we don't advocate, like I didn't know that I could have pushed back and say, hey, I have a registration submitted for these books, you need to unblock them, okay? But because I couldn't prove to KDP that I own the copyright, they blocked it. And Canva was not that clear about showing me that direction, right? And so now that I have the registration, I don't have to rely on Canva. I don't have to rely on 𝐬𝐻 because I have a registration. Okay, so that means I can litigate. I don't want to litigate. I don't want to take people down. I want it to be peaceful. There's enough niches and trends for all of us to be able to do that. But just understand those 3 steps. Number 1, understand that when you create something, you own it, right? And so that's why the elements you use is important. Number 2, you can register it further. And number 3, you can add it to your page. Those are the 3 basic things. Now, really quick, if you want a separate video, we can dive into how to actually have that ownership over copyright. Okay, so like we need to create something that didn't exist before. It needs to be unique enough. And if we're going to use AI, we have to use amalgamation. We have to use elements, right, that work into a bigger body. So if this video series is helping you, then please leave your comments and your questions below. In the next video, I'll share about the unlawful copyright claim that took me down. And I'm back. I'm back, baby. And I am not going to stop. And I believe that if you can't and you won't and you don't stop, you can't lose. I'll see you in the next video.